novel nootropics. You can buy my workout programs as well as other merchandise in my webshop, link in the description under this video. So, welcome to the TRT and Hormone Optimization YouTube channel, and today we have a new guest with us. Welcome, Lucas, welcome.
Hey, Stephen, I'm happy to be here.
Welcome. So, tell us a bit about yourself, what are you doing, and how did you get into all this stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, my journey really started out just with a pure interest in optimizing human performance. I used to play professional soccer, and then I sort of, got really interested in some of the naturopathic philosophies and the naturopathic mindset. And then from there, I basically transitioned over and started studying naturopathy and, really fell in love with, the idea that we can take control of our physiology, our hormones, our neurotransmitters. And yeah, ever since then, I've just been creating a lot of content on Instagram. I got my own podcast and then, my newly founded YouTube channel as well.
Okay, we'll be sure to link all your stuff in the description of this video, Lucas. So let's talk about the first topic of today. You wanted to talk about novel nootropics, and that's something we haven't touched a lot on our channel. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can sort of start out by looking at some of the Russian-based nootropics that I guess have been sort of neglected by most of, the Western countries. And, there's one in particular that really stands out as a very powerful nootropic in the sense that it has compounding effects over time, whereas, most nootropics, they tend to overstimulate the brain and lead to some sort of exhaustion or depletion of your neurotransmitter stores. One that I really like that has been used by athletes, it's now banned by WADA because it's so effective, is called Bromantane. The Russian name is Ledastin. And Bromantane is very unique because it appears to work on the enzymes that govern dopamine production. So instead of just, smashing dopamine release and neurotransmitter release, it's actually working on the rate limiting steps for dopamine synthesis, which is, tyrosine hydroxylase, which is, again, a very unique effect.
Okay, and is it available around the world?
Yeah, it's pretty easily obtainable. There's a couple of vendors in the US that sell it. And, in terms of sort of like a dosage protocol, it's pretty easy to, integrate into your regime. We're looking between anywhere from 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams orally. And again, it's one of those compounds that has a very long half-life. So, first, the best protocol there would be to dose it sort of first thing in the morning.
Okay. And what are the specific indications? What kind of person should consider taking it?
Yeah, I would suggest Bromantane for somebody who's either dependent on stimulants or caffeine, or somebody who's just mentally exhausted or fatigued, and also for someone who generally just lacks motivation and sort of vigor and drive. Again, a lot of the similarities with TRT, it's that same sort of application there.
Mm-hmm. Is it something people can take long term then?
It is. It's still, as with all nootropics, they do need to be cycled. But the other unique benefit that I forgot to mention is because it's working on the enzymes that govern dopamine production, it's going to lead to a suppression in prolactin. So it could be an alternative prolactin inhibitor instead of cabergoline or bromocriptine, things like that.
Okay, great. So you also mentioned another one that I've actually never heard of, 9-MBC. What's that?
Yeah, 9-MBC stands for 9-methyl-beta-carboline. The way I like to describe 9-MBC is the ayahuasca-inspired nootropic, because the actual chemical structure of this particular alkaloid, it's actually found, in these harmala alkaloids are actually found in the ayahuasca brew. And it does share some similar chemical structure and properties to some of those alkaloids. Now, when the researchers first discovered 9-MBC, what they noted was its powerful regenerative properties in Parkinson's disease. So, it's having some restorative, regenerative properties, particularly in sort of a Parkinson's disease model. And then they went on to, investigate more about the compound, how it works and things like that. And they learned that it, increases GDNF, nerve growth factor, BDNF, and some of the other pathways associated with like neuroprotection.
Okay. And is this one available? Because I've never seen it in any supplement shops or anything.
It is also available. I do have one. Obviously, I've got one linked on my site, the one that I personally use. So if people want to check that out, they can, easily obtain that. Yeah,
great idea. And what's the dose there?
So 9-MBC, you got to be careful with the dosage, because at high doses it can become a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. So we're looking anywhere between 10 to 15 milligrams orally.
Okay, thanks. The third one you mentioned was Uridine.
Yes. Uridine monophosphate. That one there is, really special. It serves a really close spot in my heart, because it's one of the nootropics that really just catapulted me and made me someone who just wants to get shit done. It makes me very productive, very focused, very goal oriented. That one there is really great for, entrepreneurs or people that really need to just, stay on one task and just sort of lock in and get work done.
Mm-hmm. All those sound really good, but how to choose which one you really need? Or can people take them all at once, or cycle one first, then the other?
Yeah, you're spot on, Steve. So it's generally advised to cycle most of these compounds. They all require different sort of cycling protocols and different dosage regimes. And they also have there's a lot of compounds that work synergistically with something like uridine. So there's a classic stack known as the Mr. Happy stack, which is uridine, DHA, EPA, B vitamins, and CDP choline. And so that sort of synergy there is really great for that really good productive state of mind.
Awesome. And how long are those cycles that people can take them continuously?
Yeah, I'd say anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. And then, I always advise maybe like a 1 to 2 week break, and then repeat if needed.
Okay. Why actually do people have to stop taking it? Are they becoming desensitized to it?
Well, what's unique about particularly that uridine compound, it doesn't appear to have any sort of like tolerance formation that you get like with caffeine. The reason why we want to promote cycling is because it may, in some cases at super high doses in the rat studies, it can worsen fatty liver disease. But I haven't seen this occur, at those moderate, 100 to 300 milligram range.
Okay. So there's no need to worry about any side effects really from all of these you mentioned.
Not really. I mean, bromantane, given that it's, working on the enzyme that governs dopamine production, it may lead to a depletion of tyrosine. So again, it's very rare that someone's going to be deficient in tyrosine, because they're getting a lot of it from chicken, meat, eggs, things like that. So should be fine.
Okay. Any other nootropics that are novel to the markets? Something that you can shed light on?
Yeah, there's one that I like specifically for someone who's got lagging memory or just generally doesn't have a good short-term memory. And that is methylene blue. I'm not sure if anyone's spoken about methylene blue on your channel.
No.
Methylene blue is actually was the very first synthetic drug developed by mankind. And it was originally developed to treat malaria and methylhemoglobinemia. But methylene blue at a very low dose, like we're talking a microdose, so anywhere from 250 micrograms to 1,000 micrograms or 1 milligram, is really good, because it does A, cross the blood-brain barrier, and B, it also it has some really powerful neuroprotective and neurorestorative effects in the brain.
Okay, sounds interesting. Okay, well, that was a very interesting. Thank you, Lucas.
Awesome.